Welcome to CEO Insights. In this issue, I want to discuss renewable PPAs and VPPAs. There's a lot of interest both by developers and by customers in purchasing renewables on either a PPA or VPPA structure. So having had a lot of experience in both structures in the US market, I wanted to share some of our experience and some knowledge for your benefit. First, a PPA requires physical delivery or physical acceptance of the renewable power, typically at the site where the power is generated, so the wind or the solar farm. Whereas a VPPA, there is not physical delivery of the power to the customer. So in a PPA or a VPPA, the pricing can be structured, whether that's fixed or tied to a futures market or an index or something like that. So there's different, so you can price them similar either way. But typically in a PPA, they're long-term fixed price contracts for many years. That's typical. In a VPPA, it's typically a fixed for a floating structure. So a fixed for floating means that it's a fixed price, but as the power is sold in the market by the generator or the aggregator, whomever, the difference between the price of the spot market and the fixed price goes to the consumer. So if the price is higher than the fixed price, the consumer gets paid. If it's lower, the consumer pays. So that's what's known as a contract for differences, or a CFD. So one of the pros of a PPA is you do get physical delivery, and of course you got the non-fossil certificate to go with it. So one of the cons of a PPA is by taking delivery, you need to have the ability and systems to be able to do the forecasting of how much the wind or the solar farm is going to produce, at what time. You need to schedule. So that requires most likely a PPS or certainly an aggregator to do that on behalf of the consumer. Only a handful of consumers will actually set up their own capability to handle that. So one of the cons of a PPA, so that's one of the cons of the PPA. So one of the pros of a VPPA is you don't have to take delivery, so you don't need any of those skills. It's basically a financial instrument. One of the cons of a PPA is there's price risk for the consumer. So that you're at risk of either futures or JEPIC spot market, and what it goes up and how it goes down, etc. Another potential con of a VPPA is known as a contract for difference, or a CFD, which is actually a derivative. So derivatives require a different audit and compliance structure. So that may have an impact on financial reporting, for example. So in any event, that's a brief tutorial on PPAs and VPPAs. I could help either the buyer or a seller. We've got a lot of experience in this. So if you need, please reach out and we'll talk.